Yeah, I want to say that's how I know it was my wife that originally found you guys, and I think it was through a collaboration with another organization, maybe Al's Angels or
Yeah,
something.
with Al's Angels.
Yes, exactly. Just wonderful organizations all over the country, just looking to help wherever they can.
Right.
Totally different, providing totally different services, which is like,
Well, that's how we do it. I mean, we fill in each other's gaps, hopefully, to have the maximum, effectiveness.
Yeah, you guys both have both your donations have been huge for us here at the our donation depot for sure.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It's been amazing. It's been just amazing.
Well, let's kick this off then officially.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Susan Finch here, your host for All Volunteer, All Heart from Binky Patrol. And I have a guest today, and I have been trying to get him on for, well, since the fires in Altadena, since I became aware of Reach Out Worldwide. John, tell me, how did you come to be a part of this lovely organization? And what do you guys do?
Yeah, so that's a big question. So give me first. We'll start with what Reach Out Worldwide is. So Reach Out Worldwide is a disaster relief organization. There they are, and were founded by Paul Walker, the actor, the beloved actor. 15 years ago, his first deployment was to the Haiti earthquake. That massive earthquake, and it wasn't a deployment like we do now. This wasn't. There was no nonprofit at the time. There was no charity umbrella. There was no. There was
I know how that goes.
Paul and his wallet and a bunch of good friends that were in the space that could help, like, firefighters, EMT type. And he took a group of people to go help under the radar. He didn't take media. This wasn't about press. This was about, I have means to go help, and I'm just going to do that. And it's kind of snowballed from there. But then the tragedy happened. It's about 3 years later, and that's the same time that, to the second part of your question, when did I get involved? Well, I had worked with Paul for about 7 weeks on the set of Furious 7. It had a massive impact on me because anytime I work with anyone, I always like to see and kind of take note of what made them who they are and why they're successful, and especially in that world. And he was one of the most authentic human beings I had ever been around on a set of crazy celebrities. My day one on that set couldn't have been bigger. It was Vin Diesel, Tyrese, Michelle Rodriguez, Kurt Russell, Natalie Emmanuel, Paul Walker, Ludacris, it was one of those scenes where it was like everyone, and that was my day one. And it's you're looking around like there's cars everywhere and big giant set pieces. And honestly, one of the most real, down to earth pieces of that whole set was Paul. It was almost like, who's this guy? Because you had all this sort of shiny stuff. He was like a beacon of reality. He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He was cool. He also made you feel normal and welcome. Like, he made me feel totally welcome right away. But what I noticed is, forget me, he made the guy that like would bring him coffee feel welcome. He would make the guy that plugging in the stinger on the ground feel cool. And he was also super authentic. I noticed he walked over to the weapons table, could pick up anything there. Like, he was real. And then he got behind the wheel of cars and he could really drive, and he really knew jujitsu, and he was really that guy. But he also was really the guy in the sense that, like, he just wanted everyone around him to work hard and be happy. And that's just the sense I got in this short period of time. And then the weekend I wrapped was the same weekend that it went down. And at that point, we thought it was just, the movie I thought was done, and there was bigger things to worry about. At that point, it was just devastating to the whole community. And it wasn't for a few months went by that some powers that be reached out. And, without getting into too many details, I was in the film as an actor, but then I was also asked to be a part of finishing the film alongside his brothers, Cody and Caleb, two amazing young men, and who the three of us stepped in, and it was the next almost full year. I was on that film for about 11 months. So Paul's impact was huge on me. Becoming close with his brothers was huge on me. And then being asked to sort of step into his shoes was the biggest honor of my whole career. So all that sort of led to just a sense of like, I hate to call it obligation, more of like honor. I was like, what can I do? It just made sense to pick up his charity as a, okay, this is something I can put
Right.
all my energy behind. And then I just kind of became an ambassador. It was right after the film, we did 5 years of what was called Game for Paul. That Cody and another individual, Brett Claywell, we created this event. It was awesome. Paul was a big gamer.
Uh-huh.
And so we got a bunch of gamers together and a few celebrities and just streamed us playing. And just like they do now, it's funny, fast forward, now it's like that's what everyone does. And raised some money, and it grew over the years. We got Microsoft, Xbox involved. And so I was always sort of an outside character of ROWW, but I'd always said to Cody, like, man, I'd love to actually go on a deployment one day when it makes sense and I don't have little children running around. And it's, now it's sort of fell into our laps. Fast forward,
Yeah.
12 years later, me and my wife have always been, my wife especially, she's like a philanthropic maniac. Starting, like I always tell this story, she was in New York for 9/11, and she, when it happened, ran to it as everyone ran away. She rallied a bunch of cases of water from the local, like Dwayne Reed's, which is like their Rite
Yeah.
Aids, and filled a truck up and drove to it, and was one of the first citizens. They had blocked it all off, and they were like, civilians aren't allowed. And she's like, well, I just have all these supplies, we're just trying to help. And they were like, fine, come help. And she was one of the only civilians down there. And that's like who she is. She's always just ran to the fire. And so the same on this. When the fires hit here, first phone call was to like Cody and Felicia, who run ROWW. They were out in Arizona. They used to live in Altadena, and they were literally on
Oh.
10. They were on the 10. Like we called them, they were in their truck driving out here. And I'm like, what are we going to do? What do we do? What's ROWW want to do here? And we just kind of started in. We were part of some donation depots that popped up over town, but those ended up growing incredibly, like rapidly, and to the point where there was the one at Santa Anita Racetrack was on like
Yeah,
Good
that
Morning.
was crazy.
Yeah, it was on Good Morning America. But what happened in the midst of that? So two things were going on. We were going there and sort of like trying to help, and then my wife started curating care packages for the families that we personally knew, like our dear
Right.
friends who lost their homes, and a bunch of families that were at our schools. And so we started kind of calling in some favors to brands and people of influence that we know. That's one benefit about being in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it started to kind of snowball. But what really, at the same time, she was curating care packages for people that we knew. At these donation sites, we noticed, well, my wife started to really notice the people.
Her name's Allison, right?
Yeah, Allison, yeah,
Okay.
Allie. What she really noticed is the people that really needed the help, because there was no vetting in the beginning. So anyone
Right.
could come to these donation sites.
Yeah.
And it was just a big flea market of people taking stuff. And what we noticed is the people that really needed it would stand in the back, and they were shell shocked.
Yes.
And often we'd ask people that were taking stuff like, did you lose your home? And they're like, no. And they were just kind of in this chaos of just take, which was really strange feeling at the time. But we noticed the people that showed up that really were often just standing there like shocked. They just lost everything. Now they're standing in a parking lot staring at a pile of clothes that someone else just basically dumped out of the back of their car. I know everyone was trying to do their best, but it was not a moment of dignity, right? It
Right.
was like everyone was really trying to do their best, but there was a moment of like, whoa, guys. Okay, wait a minute. So my wife started grabbing these people and being like, hey, who's in your family? Did you lose your home? Yeah. But they'll be like, I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. Let me shop for you. What do you need? I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old and my husband. Okay, give me a half hour, give me your phone number, you go chill in your car. And she would start to make packages at these donation sites. And then that turned into, it grew. She started taking intakes and we were making deliveries. And then that grew, and ROWW kind of helped support us at the same time, even though that's normally not what, they're more boots on the ground,
Right.
muck and gut, disaster, like removing debris, administering first aid. But they've always been like, each disaster is unique. And, Paul's whole famous quote was fulfilling unmet need. And that's exactly what this was. And so we teamed, that quickly grew, and the city of Pasadena got word, and someone had asked if we would help facilitate the distribution of furniture from the historic Langham Hotel, was going to donate all their furniture and then remodel. And they gave us the old Bed Bath and Beyond, which was vacant. The real estate developer donated that through the city, and we were kind of like, yeah, we'll do that, but can we kind of grow our little care package thing that had now grown at this point? Can we do it alongside the furniture? It just made sense.
Yeah.
And the two just worked hand in hand. And you were a part of our care packages. It was like it just kind of grew, and these in-kind donations started showing up, and our packages became very robust. We're very proud of them, and now here we are. Really, what ended up happening is then at that Bed Bath and Beyond, we were forced to shut down, just funding and time, and they had rented it out to a real tenant, and we were just running on fumes and volunteer hours and in-kind donations, and it was kind of coming to an end, and we were heartbroken because our queue was still at like 1,000. We had all these
Yeah.
donations. So the Red Cross came along and said, we want you guys to keep going, helped us find a new space and keep the lights on, and here we are. So we were able to unpack our pallets, including your awesome blankets that we use every single day. I'll take you on a little tour.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's where we are. That's led us to here. We're actually in an old bookstore now, which is just sort of our front of the house where we have we get furniture donations. This is some boxed furniture over here, which people love because not everyone's in their permanent housing yet.
Right.
Over here, they get to pick out a blanket of choice, some odds and ends that we get, lots of school supplies, and then what we do over here. They get a basket full of like toiletries and cleaning supplies, and then we take them through what textiles that they could use, sheets, pillows, blankets. Then we take them through kitchen. Do they need dishes, silverware? And then the back of the house is just where we curate everything, and all the donations live.
Wow.
This started. What's crazy is it all started with little. Here, I'll show you with. Laundry baskets in my garage. My wife was filling laundry baskets to give out to people. These are like lists of all the names that.
Oh my gosh.
Of family names.
Are they still waiting?
No, these are family names who we've serviced.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing.
But that's just from we took from the wall at Bed Bath and Beyond when we moved, so this is now probably twice as many as that. Yeah, we have appointment days, and so during appointment days, it's every 15 minutes. So everyone gets their own time. It's personal, instead of being in like a line and having just handed some bag of things that, you're good. What you leave with was curated for you. So it depending on who's in your family and what your needs are. But we've had some really great donations. Like United Airlines came through with some really awesome dishware from their
cool.
From their first class cabin. And we take all the wonderful in-kind donations, just like you guys, and put them to use. And it's
like what you were saying with the hotel. It was a perfect timing for them. They wanted to remodel. What do you do with all the furniture? Yeah. Why not donate it to where it can be used? Just like the dishes, I'm sure they were just ready to change the pattern.
Yeah.
And so you end up with sets and sets and sets. So everybody wins.
Yeah, no, completely. And the hotel it was funny because they were like, are people gonna, at first they were hesitant. Every single piece of furniture, except some like headboards, which are just the kind that you stick on the wall anyways, went. I mean, everything, every lamp, every chair, every TV, every desk. It was like a few hundred rooms worth of. People were so grateful. They were so grateful. We invite people that, we sort of have, come back to us because needs change. Sometimes they are staying with a friend. A lot of people, listen, we still service people that are living in their car.
Right.
So they can't take a new couch, but they want some new towels or something, so that's why we curate it to whatever their needs are. Some people are moving into their new home. Other people are staying in a trailer and breaking ground on their home. Other people literally have nowhere to go and nothing. There's this community. I mean, especially, man, there's some heartbreaking stories. There's elders who are living by themselves that really, you're like, man.
Folks listening, if you didn't pay attention at the beginning of this has to do, this specific conversation and what we're talking about, these efforts are from a result of the fires in Southern California. And we focused at Binky Patrol primarily on Altadena because Altadena was more apt to not have insurance, to not have plan B, to not have the ability to rebuild as quickly or ever. And so we had to focus somewhere so we could centralize the efforts from Connecticut to Texas to us from Oregon all the way down into LA County. And this is what we're talking about here is the coordinated effort. Unlike an earthquake, where it hits and it's done. An explosion hits and it's done. This fire kept going and going and going, and people just held their breath and didn't know. And it wasn't just the one building that went, it was an entire community. If you are all forgetting, because nobody's talking about in the news anymore, people are still, as John's saying, living in their cars. They have no school, no grocery stores, no doctors, no auto repair, no anything. Heck, they don't have their cars, a lot of them, because they burned. And so as they're rebuilding, even their churches, as they're rebuilding, the beauty of this to me, John, is I love that, oh yeah, the real estate developer donated the Bed Bath & Beyond for now because it's empty. Oh, Red Cross found us a place, an old bookstore. That people just set the need for greed aside.
Right. Amen.
And they just said, this is our family, this is our neighbors. We need to do something. And people doing what they can do. It's like us, we make blankets. Okay, so we'll get you guys blankets.
Yeah.
Al's Angels was able to get donations of clothing and so many things.
Yep.
And anything that you needed, he would get shipped to you.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know. What a stud. He's awesome. But to your point, this area specifically, I'm going to touch on a few things that you said. One, the vastness of it. Each fire alone was larger than the size of Manhattan. If you were to walk it, you can walk and 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 not reach the end of devastation, which is alarming. Usually people's ideas, like it's little patches here and there. You can go down a boulevard where there's a whole car dealership where 50 cars were melted to the ground. And that's a weird feeling. You're not out in the forest at that point. You're in the middle of like a town. And Altadena, to your point, was unique because a lot of different people of financial levels there, including there was like something 268 reverse mortgages that burnt down. Right. Now that's all going to be seniors that really don't have another. I mean, if that was where they were at, like now they're in much worse shape because the one asset is now, as we all know,
that's what they were living on. That was their bank.
Yeah, you have a lot of families who may have paid off their house in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and now don't carry insurance because they don't have to, because they don't carry mortgages and they can't afford to. So they just haven't. And now they're SOL. Right. You have families that it is their, even if they had insurance, that was their one nest egg that they passed along through 3 generations. Right. So we see, you're right. I mean, this community definitely needed that extra. I mean, every community does. I hate to say anymore. What was really cool though about this community that I witnessed having gone every week, we're at the town hall meetings and things like this, is man, they were unified fast. And even when the Army Corps came in, they made a note of saying your neighborhoods, because to them, they needed neighborhoods to mobilize as a group to be able to come in where everyone's on the same page. So everyone as a community kind of had to like agree on things for the Army Corps to come in and work efficiently. And they were so grateful at these meetings. They were like, your community is so tight and communication goes fast and you guys work as a team. And that was really cool to see. And so it's really been fun. And you see people that come through our doors and as they're leaving, they see the person walking in and they're like, oh, Betty, it's like, it's a big area, but it's a small, tight knit community. Yeah. It's been an honor to serve them.
Man. So let's talk about ways people can help you. We know how they can help us. They can start chapters. They can make blankets. Yep. Kind of easy. Yeah. Binky Patrol is unique that yes, money helps, but that is not our focus. Our focus is more coverage for more kids. Yep. So for you guys, you serve the country, you serve the world. You started with Haiti. So you obviously are not limited to the US. How can people get involved? I interviewed somebody recently and they were talking about these volunteer vacations. Mm-hmm. So you align yourself with this organization and you book everything, and part of your fancy trip is a few days of service.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we had some volunteer groups that traveled in for this as well. It didn't seem luxury, but that sounds really fun.
Well, that's just it. I mean, the trips are really expensive. To me, I love it if I could go somewhere and if I'm staying there for a week, I'm sorry, if you get staying with your relatives, it gets a little boring. Yeah. And you could take a break. It's like, let me find a volunteer opportunity. What can I do? What do you guys need?
For sure. That's such a great question. What's unique about ROWW is you can responders@ROWW.org is this email, right? Anyone can sign up and you can list anything that you are. I can work a excavator and I live in Kentucky, and we're going to throw you in the database, and you may never, hopefully you never hear from us.
Right.
Hopefully. But there's a shot that a tornado or something comes through and there's a disaster, and then we're going to hit our database up and go, does anyone know how to drive a backhoe that's from, Louisville? And
Right.
like, boom, that's where you pop up. So to answer your question, yes, have anyone email responders at row.org from wherever they are in the world. Just say where they are, say maybe a few things. If they just can make coffee, they can make coffee. Great. Whatever it is that they can do. I can administer first aid. I can operate a backhoe. I'm an arborist. We do all those
Right.
things like come in handy. I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a firefighter, whatever it is, or I just can work. Whatever
Right.
it may be, here I am. We'll throw you in the database. Again, hopefully you never hear from us because that means there wasn't a disaster in your
Right.
area. But if there is, you're there and we know who to call on. Yeah, again, of course, fiscal donations are always welcome, but
Yes.
not everyone can always do that. So I love like blankets like you. In-kind donations are what we're taking advantage of right now. Especially we're trying to, brand or small business or brand alignment. We have a wonderful furniture company locally, Acme, that does donate a lot of furniture for us.
It's
We have,
Acme Furniture, like in the Coyote and Roadrunner.
yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
it's exactly. But the amazing thing is it's all boxed, and so people they don't have to rent a U-Haul or get a truck. We can put it in the back seat, and they're like so grateful. Or if they don't, are not in permanent housing, they can put it in storage for a little bit. That's the broader sense is any business or small business or connection that has, we curate care packages for people
Right.
to move into their homes. So if you can think of anything from nail clippers to, air conditioners to, I mean, honestly, it's like, think of Target. If you walk through Target and you have a connection to a brand, and that's what we're at this point surviving off of is wonderful brand support, in-kind donations.
I think about mattresses, and mattresses have changed so much. Now they're very tiny. When
Yeah,
you get a queen size mattress, they are in a narrow box.
so those are boxed mattresses, and
Yep.
that's the only way we can do it now because
Yeah.
big mattresses take up so much space. And they're great because they're protected.
Yeah.
So they can keep them in storage if they need to.
So many ways people can help. So go to ROWW.org, explore the site, see what they're doing, get to know them, and then add yourself to their database.
Yes.
There's a big button for volunteer. There's one for donate too. Yes. They have all these fun things coming up too. You have events, fundraiser events, and different things, but donate, volunteer. Go there, do that. Because your skills, and like he said, it could be I'm super friendly and I know how to calm people down. That's a
Totally.
skill.
100%. 100%.
Those are I'm a good dog walker. Okay. What is the need? You never know.
Yeah.
You never know what it's going to be, but put those things down. And if it's ask me, I can do anything if something happens here.
Yeah.
Put that in there too.
Totally.
I'm able-bodied, I have a truck, and my schedule's flexible. There you go.
It is 100% how Row operates. The thing that I've always loved about them is we are shoestring. There is no, you could weigh, we're like a napkin as our spreadsheet. So like, which makes it easy. It's dollars and dollars, which was so great during the fundraising process. I even worked with Cody and Felicia tightly. I was like, hey, I have a donor that wants to donate 5,000, but they just want to make sure that we know exactly what it goes to. She's like, you spend it on exactly what you want. So we literally shopped and we bought air fryers, and he was able to spend every single dollar that he gathered from his community
right
on specific donations that were going right to people. There was no fee. There was
right.
nothing. There was no dollar being wasted. So that's what I've always been really proud of Reach Out Worldwide. We work on volunteer basis. We show up and we're like, who's in the community that can help? We help organize that. And then we work with our partners and our support. Yeah, it's been an honor.
Okay, I have Ryan and Rania that I have used a grant for to help their college students that help us with social media.
Awesome.
Because I can't do it all.
No, and it should, yeah, and it's so valuable for messaging is the most valuable thing in this world, right? So
it is, and time is the most valuable commodity that we have.
Yeah.
It's our best gift. It's the most valuable thing we can ever do. How much time can you guys spend a month? What do we tell you? 1 hour a month can change lives. Start with an hour. go from there. Maybe you're somebody that knows how to make phone calls. In these disaster situations too, sometimes it's reaching out and becoming the network. How do we, collect everybody? Let's start a Facebook page. Let's get the group going. Let's do this. Let's vet everybody. Let's make sure it's actually the people. All those types of skills matter.
Or I have a truck.
I have a truck. It can be that simple. I have a truck.
Because that's what we do. I remember when this happened,
with a winch on it.
Yeah, exactly. We did that very thing. Like, who's got a truck and who's got a pallet jack? And that's, we had heroes show up. It's great.
Yep, that's fantastic. I'm so glad you made the time and were able to join me. Thank you.
I appreciate you asking me and having me.
Awesome. It's a simple call to action, guys.
Amen.
You can change lives. You can change lives on call. You can change lives regularly. But do something, because that's what we can do. In all this craziness in our world, we can control our time. We can control what we do in our communities. Why not choose to make a difference rather than complaining about it, rather than, sorry to say it, but stand on corners with signs? Pick up a needle and thread, pick up your scissors, get your truck, do something, because that's what changes lives. Not shouting and arguing or anything else. It's getting your hands in the middle of it and giving of your heart.
No, it's so true. But the crazy thing is often in that you give to yourself, I've found, because it's therapeutic. I found for volunteer, most of our volunteers often are fire survivors, and it's their way of coping.
Yes.
Is they're like, man, I don't know what to do right now. I'm just going to go get back, because I got to keep my brain busy. And we have found you're right. You help so many people and you really impact them, but it is like, at the same time, it's the whole thing. I mean, there's such positive energy when you're just giving.
It's an unexpected byproduct of giving. And folks, people that get involved in community, stay connected, making a difference, live longer and healthier. That is a fact.
It makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
John, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. You can find us at binkypatrol.org or binkypatrol.show or in your favorite podcast apps. We look forward to your joining us next time. Thank you.